There is a difference between knowing who Jesus is and knowing him. Even the demons know who Jesus is. Think about that. The demons know who Jesus is, yet they're not saved. People who are not saved know who Jesus is. But if they die, they're not going to go to heaven unless they get saved. So what I came here to ask you is, do you know who Jesus is, or do you know him? The Lord brought me to Romans 1 in my time with him this morning. He brought me to verse 21, and it says, "For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him. But they became futile in their thinking, and their foolishest hearts were darkened." So we see here that it is very possible to know all of these things about God, yet still not serve him, yet still choose to not honor him. And one of the ways that we can do this as believers, as the body of Christ, is when we get so filled up in our thoughts and our thinking that we fix our eyes off of Christ. Salvation's everything, raw ministry, everything that you'll ever do for Christ is not about you, it's about Christ. And when we get so caught up in our minds, when we get so caught up in how do I look, when we get so caught up in our own pride, we miss the whole point. And what happens? We don't give thanks to God, we point the thanksgiving to ourselves. And then from that place, instead of getting to know Christ, you're just getting to know who he is, but not him. The enemy just wants us to stop and quit, but if he can't get us to just stop and quit like that, slowly but surely, he'll try to lead our eyes onto ourselves and not onto Christ, to the point where our hearts become darkened, where our hearts are not filled with the light and the truth of the Word of God. When our hearts aren't fixed on Jesus, they start to become fixed on ourselves, and through that we can cleave to the state of pride that we forget it's all about him. We can get to this place where we're so busy doing all these things for the Lord that we don't get to know him, like it says right here, that they knew of God, but they didn't honor him. We're not just called to put on a show. The Lord wants you to live in a true relationship with him. He doesn't want you to get so busy doing the things. He doesn't want you to get so busy to the point where you're so focused on putting up an image that you're living according to God's will that you forget about the main point, which is a relationship with him and his word. You're not called to be popular. You're not called to be the most loved person that shares the gospel. You're not called to get the most applause from man. But what you are called is to have a relationship with God. And from that, having a relationship with him, fixing your eyes on Jesus, not on yourself, not getting caught up in pride, what will come from that is a compassion. What will come from that is a heart to see the lost saved, and then the Lord will use you. But he's not going to use you if you don't even know him. Because how are you even supposed to tell someone about you, someone that you don't even know? So what I wanted to encourage you today is, don't get so caught up with yourself that your heart becomes to get darkened, and that you lose your eyes, you lose your fix on the reason and the person that it's really all about Jesus.